All right, fears about AI wiping out traditional software companies have decimated a lot of companies, including Wolters Kluwer, which you probably have never heard of. So if we look at the 1-year chart, it's down 60% in a year. Something's down 60% in a year. Why should you be looking at it? Well, I'm not looking at the price action, I'm looking at the company. So this is one of the ones I'm researching, which you probably never heard of. It's a European company. And if you see, the PE is 13, which is very cheap for a software company. A SaaS, software as a service companies, tend to have very high valuations, but a lot of them have been cut in half or more because of fears of companies like Claude or OpenAI disrupting these businesses that you could traditionally, use for their databases and their IP. The fear is that if they can scrape cases, you can replicate that. And I don't think that's the case, but it's something you have to consider. So, what does Wolters Kluwer do? They do a lot of things for law firms, and they put out this is one that you might have seen if you work at a law firm or in tax. CCH, they put out this for tax practitioners, and they have other ones for financial practitioners, like stuff with the SEC and CFTC. It's very specialized. And there's two databases that most lawyers use, and you learn to use it in law school. One is called LexisNexis, and one is called Westlaw. And when people ask me what the difference is, I say, they're used for different things. Like if you're a litigator, you might use Westlaw a lot because Westlaw has a headnote system, which is sort of like a hashtag, and it will let you find related cases very easily. And the people turn to LexisNexis because it has a lot more databases that you can use. And this is an example. So LexisNexis has access to CCH and Westlaw does not. So if you're a tax practitioner, you might use LexisNexis more than Westlaw. And they used to send out these physical things, but most people do their research on Westlaw. And these physical copies, you see them in law schools, you see them in practitioners that only do certain thing like tax. But this is less than 1% of their business now. So it's almost all electronic. So it is a SaaS business as we understand that term. So this is the most recent earning report. And because it is down 60% and it's trading at a PE of 13, you would think that everything is horrible, but it's not. So organic growth, 6%, operating profit up 27.5%. So that's up 40 basis points. Earning per share up 9% in constant currency. So, adjusting for operations in different countries and exchange rates. Free cash flow, 1.3 billion euro, up 10%. Return on invested capital, 18%. 20% is rockstar status, so 18% is very good. The only negative I see, they are borrowing more money. So net debt to EBITDA was 1.6 last year, and it's up to 2.0. So they are borrowing more money, but they're also buying back shares and making acquisitions. So if we look at revenue, up 4% from last year, operating profit up 5% from last year, earnings per share up 6% from last year, and adjusted free cash flow up 6%. And here's the different divisions they have. I'm more familiar with tax and accounting and financial and corporate because of the stuff I did for a living. Legal and regulatory, 17%, health, 26%, ESG, 10%. But if you look at those operating profit in each of those division, in health, it's up, in tax and accounting, and up, finance and compliance, it's up, legal and regulatory, up. The only one where the operating profit is down is ESG, which is not a hot area right now. And corporate operates at a negative profit, but that's making progress. So as I said, revenue up 4%, operating profit 5%, profit before tax up 4%, adjusted net profit 3%, and earnings per share up 6%. So you would think that a company that got cut in half or more than that, 60%, would be on its deathbed, but no, it's actually growing. It's just gotten the valuation chopped because of the AI apocalypse fears. There are companies which I think are a lot harder to disrupt, and I may do videos on them, like VRRM, which does the speedlight cameras, and They are involved with physical things. So, you can't just write lines of code and replace what they have because they have red light cameras, speed cameras, and these government contracts that take several years to go through the RFP process and procure. And there's another one I may do a video on. I have a small position called Tyler. And Tyler also has these government contracts that for running cities that take several years to go through the RFP process. And they would be a lot harder to disrupt than Wolters Kluwer. Wolters Kluwer, as I said, they do have business with LexisNexis, and if Claude AI, which is gaining popularity with lawyers, displaces LexisNexis, maybe that will hurt them, and maybe Claude will license it or somebody else will license it because these content providers now are licensing their IP to AI companies for training and for to expand their LLM. So the Washington Post and New York Times have both licensed their IP to Amazon, which uses it to train their AI. Because in the early days of AI, they would just scrape the websites and take whatever they want and not pay anyone. And now that they're profitable and they're getting sued for this, the bigger companies are licensing it so they don't get in trouble later down the road. So if you think about the AI apocalypse, what's going on here? 2021, 2022, 2024, 25, all going up in dividend per share, buying back lots of share year over year. This year, it's projected to be half of what it is last year because they are using a lot of that money that they would have used for share buybacks for acquisitions and CapEx to improve their AI positioning and be able to offer better service to their customers. So that would decrease free cash flow available for buybacks, but it may position them to be a stronger competitor in the long run. So one of the reasons why prior to the introduction of AI, SaaS companies were priced so highly is recurring revenues. And this one still has 7% organic growth in recurring revenues, which tend to be very sticky and very profitable. So I'm not going to go in too much deeper into that, but you should check out the investor presentation if you're interested in this. And if you have a comment or question, leave it in the comment section. So this is just me going through my process. I'm not telling you how to invest. I'm telling you how I invest. And people have asked about my process, and my process is just turn over as many rocks as possible and see what you find and move quickly when you find something ugly and just keep moving on. This one is interesting because I started looking at it today and I still haven't found anything negative about it. I'm on the fence about it. I haven't bought any shares. But I'm just keeping a contemporaneous record of the things I'm buying and selling and looking at here. So this one I'm on the fence about, but I do have small positions in VRRM and Tyler, which I mentioned. And I also have a position in a software called Table Track, which makes casino management software. And that also, I think, has a moat because you can't just vibe code something and sell it to a casino. If you want to sell anything to a casino software, a casino table, a coin operated machine, anything, it has to be approved by the state gaming commission. And those are multi-year processes also just to get an approval in one state. And if you have them in important states like Nevada, that's very profitable and hard to disrupt. But anyway, as I said, this doesn't appear to be suffering from the AI apocalypse in terms of their operations. The fear of it has cut their valuation by 60% over the past year, but they are not shrinking, they are growing. So I don't know how durable their moat is because, as I said, LexisNexis pays for access to their IP and their decades worth of materials, court cases, federal cases, state cases, local cases, international cases. That's what I'm familiar with. And, they have decades of that, and LexisNexis pays for access to it. So maybe if someone like Anthropic or OpenAI comes up with something to compete with them, they will pay also to Wolters Kluwer And instead of money coming from LexisNexis, it'll come from one of these other companies. Or maybe they can have AI that's good enough that they don't need these guys, and they can just scrape every local state tax opinion going back decades, and federal opinion and international opinion, and come up with something similar for a less price. I don't know, but that is the risk that you're taking with a company like this. Whereas you're taking a different risk with a company like VRRM. So VRRM is the red light cameras. And as I said, it's a very long RFP process. And I'll do a separate video on that. But just like and subscribe so you'll see that video coming up as well. Have a great day, everyone.